What's up? Welcome to Video Creep, and today we're going to be reviewing the movie Child's Play 2019. The story of when an Alexa gets really fucking pissed. So the movie opens up with Kazlan, who are kind of like empires in the electronics game right now. They're syncing up all their devices, they're creating technology that learns the more you use it, and one of the products that they're putting out is the Buddy doll, who essentially is Alexa. It can turn on the TV, it can get a car to come to you, it can tell you the cast of whoever's on Hotlanta. I couldn't. And immediately, we're taken to the sweatshop where these Buddy dolls are being manufactured. And I mean sweatshop. This does not look like a happy environment to be working in. And the boss is kind of an asshole. So one employee decides that he's had enough. And he decides that he's going to manipulate the safety chip inside of a Buddy doll before he decides that he's going to kill himself. Which, thinking about it, is kind of a weird last thing to do. But ultimately it ended up being effective, or else we wouldn't have had a movie. We get to meet Andy Barclay, who is slightly older than our original Andy, and the boy's got no friends. He just moved into a new place with his mother, played by Aubrey Plaza, who I'm most familiar with from Parks and Rec, and her dirty video online. So to see her in a mother role with that same charisma that she brings to every character was interesting to see. When I heard she got cast for Karen Barclay, I thought it was a really weird decision. But after seeing it and remembering that this is a modern reboot, I can see how mothers today align a little closer with women like Aubrey Plaza. And let me tell you, she's working her ass off in this movie. As a working woman, but also a horny woman. Even though they just moved into this new place, Mom has a boyfriend already. And he's not the nicest guy in the world. They really don't build this guy in any way that makes us like him. We see Mom back at work with someone returning a defective Buddy doll. If you think that's gonna be our Chucky, you're a few steps ahead. And she decides that she's going to bring this Buddy doll back home to Andy. But when Andy opens this doll, he's less than amused with it. He tells her it's old, it's for kids, everything but a thank you. But regardless to what he says, he actually gets pretty close to this doll. And that's one of the things I like most about this movie. Seeing Andy and Chucky develop a relationship is really nice. It's not something that we ever saw in any of the other films. The Andy was so young in the original that he just, of course, loved it right off the bat. Whereas in this movie, they actually get to know each other a little bit. Because these two are having such a good time, it ends up attracting other people into their orbit, and now Andy actually starts making friends. Which is where a shift in the relationship between Andy and Chucky occurs. See, at the end of the day, Chucky is just a robot, and he's learning from whatever cues he's picking up around him, like how Kazlan intended him to be. So when he does things, like pick up a knife, because he sees Andy having a good time watching Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. One of the cool things about this movie, by the way, the fact that they have a nod to Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, especially because it's one of the wackier ones in that franchise, I thought was a lot of fun. But Chucky picks up a knife because to him, that is what's gonna make Andy happy. And since he sees Leatherface killing people, he decides that he's gonna go and kill one of his friends. You know, for jokes. And Andy gets really upset, which is something that a lot of people talk about whenever they speak about Child's Play 2019, is sad Chucky. He is cute, and there is something about this robotic Chucky that for some reason elicits feelings. And you feel bad. After Chucky tries to kill his friend, he's like thrown in a closet and shit. And at the end of it, Chucky's actually kind of innocent. He's just doing what he was programmed to do, which was learn from his surroundings and do what would make his owner happy. So with that in mind, Chucky decides to go kill him again and kills Andy's mother's boyfriend. In one of the cooler kill scenes in this movie, admittedly. It was for Tupac. Chucky, trying to make things better with Andy, cuts off Karen's boyfriend's head and leaves it in Andy's room for him to wake up to, with a bow on it, so Andy will see this and be happy once more, and then they can play. But this just freaks the fuck out of Andy, and makes the movie go in this weird, 10 minutes, what are we gonna do, silly mission that doesn't really pay off in any fucking way. I get that they wanted this movie to have some form of humor in it, but the humor wasn't better than the suspense that we would have gotten out of Andy having to deal with this head in a more sinister way. Andy decides that's it, and develops a plan to stop Chucky, which was pretty easy. All he had to say was, "Hey Chucky, wanna play?" And Chucky was totally down. He fell for it immediately. As soon as Chucky walks into a room, they Joe Pesci Goodfellas him. Now remember, Chucky is getting smarter the more that he experiences. So Chucky is going to figure out a way to get close to Andy without getting too close to him. And the way he does this is by posing as another child's toy in the building. But Andy catches on to this, seeing how Chucky decides to start fucking with him by manipulating the Caslin products in his house, showing up on his screen to talk to him. Giving us Crazy Andy, who says Chucky did it, and you find smashing TVs with bats. His mom decides this is way too much and says that he needs to start coming to work with her. But at her store that day is the release of The Buddy 2, where all of Andy's friends are, including the boy whose buddy doll is actually Chucky. So Chucky, doing what he does, manipulates all the Caslin toys in the building, and a bloodbath ensues. And for this being such a big scene in the movie, I really don't care when I'm watching this scene. Even though it's action-packed, I personally feel like, alright, let's get on with it. Let's get to the next scene. Let's keep on moving. Although, I will say, in this scene, when the big mascot takes his fucking head off, and blood is spilling from his neck and covers that little girl in blood, that was pretty good. But in the commotion of everybody running around getting attacked by these Caslin products, Andy notices that Chucky is missing and his mother is missing. And we find Chucky in the process of hanging his mother to death. Andy and Chucky go at it for a while, but ultimately Andy is able to save his mother and stop Chucky in the weakest way we've ever seen Chucky go out. Literally, it's just a stab, just right through the body. Chucky should be harder to go out than that. But I guess it plays out that way because at the very last moment of this movie, right before the credits, we see that Chucky actually moved into another buddy doll, setting the movie up for sequels. So my thoughts on this movie. Did it hold up to the original? Abso-fucking-lutely not! What are you, fucking nuts? The original is such a classic, and the way that it plays, it's such a slow burn. You don't know what to expect. It's such a perfect horror film. We all knew that this movie wasn't going to be better than the original. So with that in mind, I take this movie at face value for what it is. And for what it is a rather entertaining movie. But it's not something that I desire more of. If there was something to look forward to in this movie getting a sequel, it would be how human Chucky will become after how much he learns. Beyond that, this did feel like a cash grab. Or at least I hope it was, because alternatively, that would mean that this was just to snub out the original series, which is still actively going on. I really don't feel super negatively towards this movie. However, I do feel a strong alliance to the original Chucky. This felt like a really cool fan film, and that's maybe what this should have been. But how do you feel about Child's Play 2019? Do you want a sequel? Do you think it matched or even surpassed the original? Whatever you think, let me know in the comments. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so that way you know when I upload the next review.